Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Jaylon Bates, who will fight on XFC 54, April 25th. Hello, Jaylon. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you, brother?
I'm good. And actually, recently, like everybody found out that you will be back in the cage. It will be a really interesting fight against a UFC veteran. So, if you can tell me what happened that you took this fight, and also I believe that it is like a kind of short notice fight.
It is short notice. I told my management team I'm signed with first round management. I told them, hey, look, um, I want to fight as soon as possible, and I'm willing to fight whoever. And especially at 35, it's kind of hard to get fights for me coming from Bellator and my background. So a lot of guys they sign up, they say yes, but then they don't show up to fight. So um Drako Rodriguez was the only one to fight, and it's at 145, which I don't give a fuck. I just need to fight. I need to get out there and get back in the cage. And I'm excited that he took the fight. I'm thankful. I'm thankful I have a great dance partner as a UFC vet. So I'm excited for the challenge. Enrique Barzilla was my last UFC vet. I didn't do too bad. He out wrestled me, but my wrestling's improved a lot since then. So I can't wait to go out there. If he tries to wrestle me, we'll see where we go.
But I believe that taking the like UFC veteran in your first fight after this kind of break is really impressive because of course he's like a dangerous guy. You proved many times that you are really dangerous too. So I think that overall it will be like super interesting fight and like a little bit like collision of styles.
Yes, absolutely. Because he's a very boxer based style, and a lot of people think I have a boxer based style. So I'm gonna come out there and we're gonna throw hands and we're gonna see who gets the finish.
And if you can tell me, what do you do to prepare yourself for these fights? So, where did you train? And if you can tell me, like, about a little bit about your sparring partners that you have right now.
So I don't know if you can see we're in the back though. That's Syndicate MMA. I'm out here at Syndicate. I'm back home. I was at Syndicate 10 years ago when I first started fighting MMA. This is the first Syndicate was the first team I ever trained on. I was here with Jesse Jess, Chaz Mulkey. We had freaking Buddha. We had a bunch of people. Honestly, it was a big team at the time then. And I left, came back, and now the training partners, the gym has elevated exponentially. And I'm training with Vince Morales. I'm training with Marab. I'm training with guys like, up and coming UFC guys, 145ers. Um, who else? BJ Jenkins. He has a fight coming up as well. I'm training with a lot of great guys, a lot of great wrestlers too. A lot of the room's a grind room. So it's not, and we get a lot of people who visit as well. So it's not a room where you could just slack off or just think you're gonna go and take easy way out. No, you're gonna have to work and win those rounds day in day out. So my sparring has been amazing. My partners have been amazing. I can't say enough. I'm just excited to show the discipline and the hard work that's been put in.
Yes, and in the end, it's like one of the best gyms in the world. So probably whichever partner you will want to train, you can benefit a lot from his style.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I, of course, remember you from like your Bellator career, kind of like crazy armbars, a very, very like creative style. But in the
Yes,
end, you disappeared for almost, let's say, 2.5 years. So
yes.
if you can tell me what happened in this time with your career.
So I disappeared for 2 years because after I got cut from Bellator, or after they got bought out, I didn't have a contract with PFL, and they weren't looking to resign me. And all the small organizations I hit up, CFC, Cage Fury, LFA, like all these promotions kept getting like, oh, we're gonna get you a fight, and then the fighters like never showed up. So after a year of doing this bullshit of like not getting fights, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go join the military. And plus, the recruiter, she was like, hey, you can fight and be a Marine. And I was like, okay. And I was looking at branches to join. My little brother, he's a Marine. And my grandfather, he was Army. My other grandfather, he was Air Force. My uncle, he was Army. So I was like, oh, Army. But then I was like, Army's like, it's not the best. And then I'm like, Air Force, but they're not as physical. Navy, so I was like, Marines. Marines are the best, right? They're the most physical, they're the most active, and they're first to fight. They're a very warrior culture. So I joined the Marine Corps, uh, found out a lot about myself, found out a lot of growing pains, went through a great experience, a lot of growth, a lot of discipline. And so for 2 years, 2.5 years, I was a Marine. I was a Marine. I just got out and back to fighting, back to doing what I love.
So definitely this kind of experience can help with your like even like in the training room, because it's probably like super high level of discipline of like working under stress. So probably it can be like a best version of you.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, there's something I went through in the Marine Corps. There's something you go through in the Marine Corps that nothing else will that the outside world doesn't prepare you for. And being an MMA fighter is just being an MMA fighter is just as hard, it's just as stressful. But being in the Marines is just as so it's a beautiful balance, and I'm excited to show why like that stress that I was put through, that torture and all that. It was a fun experience for me being a Marine for sure. I definitely think a lot of MMA fighters they could be Marines. The thing is they don't like to listen because they lack the discipline because they feel like they know it all. And that's the ego because yeah, it goes into a whole deeper thing. But yeah, absolutely. I feel like being in the military was the best experience for me.
And I think that most people like remember you from like your Bellator run, but you had a kind of crazy, also crazy amateur career, because not only you were undefeated, but you beat a lot of like really good guys like Eric Mendez, Davon Jackson, Abdul Kamara, who is like Fury champion right now. So
Oh,
at
he's the
what?
Fury champion? Abdul's the Fury champion right now?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Wow. Oh, that's good for him.
So,
Nice.
so, so at one point you were on the like 16 fights winning streak.
16 fight winning streak. Yeah. Yeah, 16. You know, and it's crazy because being on that 16 fight winning streak, you don't realize how much you start realizing, like, oh, I can't lose, I can't lose. You know, and then I realized, like, fuck, like, I didn't, the environment I was in Long Beach. I really didn't care about my camp. Um, I didn't care about my, like, I was ready to get out of there because I started to see, I'm not a fake person. So I started to see a lot of fake shit, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And then, and then just being on that winning streak, you get so in your head because everyone starts saying, "Oh, you're good," and you start drinking the Kool-Aid, as they say, or drinking the tea. I don't like when people say I'm good. I don't listen to people who say I'm good because there's someone who's better. So even though that I was on a 16 fight winning streak, I knew that day was coming where I didn't do enough and someone was gonna beat me and Enrique Barzola was the man. But now I can't wait to show and show the 2.0 version because yeah, no one's putting in the work I am. No man is putting in the work I am. I promise.
And now you will fight against really tough fighter like Rodriguez, who is also like a really skilled guy. He's got BKFC fights too. And do you see your career going into like UFC in next maybe 2 years? Do you
Of
have
course.
this kind of plans?
All day. I'm when I first met John Wood when I was 19, I first met him. I said, I'm gonna be the UFC bantamweight champion. I left, experienced life. I went all up the West Coast, trained at the best gyms, right? But I always knew I was gonna come back home. And now that I am, I was speaking with Forrest. I saw Forrest last week, and I told him the same thing because I sparred Forrest when I was 19, and I told him the same thing. I'm going to be the bantamweight champion. And so when I saw Forrest last weekend, I told him the same thing. I was like, I'm going to be the bantamweight champion, and this time I'm going to be able to prove it, especially going up against a guy like Drako Rodriguez, UFC vet, 45. Man, you know everyone's gonna be like, oh, he's bigger, he has power. He's all the everything says he should win, but God's with me.
So in the end, you want to be back in the bantamweight division, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then eventually we'll go up to 45, but right now bantamweight, I'm a long, strong bantamweight. I got long arms. Man, yeah, I'm gonna be a nightmare.
Yes, especially that sometimes featherweight fighters are like really, really big guys. They are like they could easily fight in lightweights. So definitely, probably like bantamweight is just a better option for you.
Yes. Well, also, I mean, also, I was thinking, I've always done better when I perform at a higher weight or closer to where I don't have to cut weight. I always have performed stronger. Like even now, I'm 153 sparring like 165ers, and that's like about the weight guys go in to fight at 145, right? So, and I'm doing really well in the wrestling department. Like I'm feeling really strong, and I think that's due to my workouts that I've been doing. So, I'm not worried about. I don't think I'm too worried about 145 when I get there. Uh, I feel like making the 35 cut is the bitch. That's the hard part. That's the only hard part for 35s is the cut. But 45s I feel like is a lot easier because one, they're slower. They just hit harder, so you don't fucking get hit, which is not bad for me because I don't get hit.
And when I watched your fights, I can see that you are like really, really good on the ground. You are creative there. You are good also from your back. But do you have like a favorite submission that you would like to win your fight by?
Favorite submission, favorite submission, I would say the ninja choke, and I can demonstrate it for you real quick. Oy! So if someone was pressing against me, right, and their head was here, and you get, and this is a cage, right? You get here, and their head's here, and you get right around their throat, and then you come here, and then you just sit into them, and it's literally just all on their neck, and it's a ninja choke. Well, you call it a ninja choke. Some people call it other things. I don't give a shit. I'm a blue belt, so I just call it and then whatever ninja choke. But yeah, that's my favorite.
So like blue belt, but it's like not really a blue belt in MMA.
Hell no. I've tapped out black belts before. And it's not me though. I say me, but it's really God because I didn't control none of this shit. I'll be honest, bro. I just do whatever he tells me. So
Okay, Jaylon, so many thanks for the time and for conversation. I think that this fight is like a really, really interesting one, and I think that with your experience, I think that it's just like matter of time, matter of probably like few fights when you get to the UFC.
UFC. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's a blessing, man. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for saying that.